the idea was live the question so that you can live your way into the answer. There are some questions that will never get answered until you live them. Because if you're waiting sometimes for the answer, you might wait for the rest of your life because you are afraid maybe to try the new thing or to explore it. Hey, it's Nika Smith, and welcome back to the Great Big Life TV, where we talk about all things midlife transition. And today we are on the third phase of our midlife journey, which is the exploration. The first two videos, we talked about the midlife audit. Then we talked about the midlife edit. And today we're going to talk about the midlife exploration. And if you went through that midlife edit practice or exercise, what you did was you learned some of the things you wanted to get rid of, were no longer useful, did not align with the version of who you are and who you want to be. However, there are some things that you wanted to keep or wanted to try or wanted to see. So we get to do that in the exploration. So I want to share with you a quick story. Probably a few months ago, I was on my way to go for a morning walk with one of my best friends. And so usually we just kind of walk and talk about life, serious stuff, whatever. And because I had done my own midlife audit and edit, and I wanted to explore some different things, what I realized is that I needed to have more fun. Like, not just more fun, but more play, childlike play. And the reason is because when I was little, I always felt like a little adult. I didn't always feel like a child. And all of that had a lot to do with me becoming an adult that was always very, disciplined and serious and a go-getter. And people applauded me for being like a little adult when I was a child, really probably instead of encouraging me to be more childlike, but that's a story for another day. So as I'm on my way to the trail and I'm thinking like, I just want to have some fun. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna stop to the store. So I stopped to the dollar store and I pick up a pack of bubbles, right? The bubbles you blow like that. Pick those up, get to the trail, hand her a bottle of the bubbles. She's like, what is this? Because I know too that she's a very serious grown up. It was probably a very serious child. And we got on this trail, and I said, listen, we're going to blow bubbles. I don't care who looks at us, who sees us. We're just going to have fun. And that is what we did. And I'll post a short video of us having fun on the trail. But what that said to me was that just because something is different, right? Just because I'm doing something that is out of the ordinary and other people might look at me crazy, does not stop me from doing that. And so she and I went out on that trail and we blew bubbles and had the time of our life. So much so, the rest of the day was I just felt lighter. It just, nothing could bother me the rest of the day. So for me, incorporating play was a big part of my exploration. So let's talk about yours. So you've heard me talk a lot about the next version of ourselves and how do we even get there, right? We've audited, we've kind of asked questions, we've edited, we've taken out things we don't like and added things we do like or want to do more of. But then how do we start to incorporate? Well, before we really implement these things, let's just experiment. Let's explore. The exploration phase is really about experimentation. It's about trying some things that you have not tried before that you maybe always wanted to do, always wanted to see, and just trying it. It doesn't mean you get married to it or it's a permanent part of your life. It's just trying it. One of my favorite quotes is from the poet Rainier Maria Rilke, which I'm pretty sure I'm saying that incorrectly, but I'm doing my best. I'm doing the best I can, honey. But I love this quote, and the quote is "Live the question." And my therapist many years ago, when I was in my 20s, she introduced me to that poet in the book Letters to a Young Poet, is where the book is actually from. The quote is actually from that book. And I just, I was questioning all kinds of stuff, asking about everything. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I blah, 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 blah. And she introduced me to that, and the idea was live the question so that you can live your way into the answer. There are some questions that will never get answered until you live them. Because if you're waiting sometimes for the answer, you might wait for the rest of your life because you are afraid maybe to try the new thing or to explore it. So step one, is to get comfortable not knowing. Get comfortable with uncertainty. If you have made it this far in your life, you should already be there, but some of us are still very anxious about the unknown. And it's okay. But getting comfortable with uncertainty is, I think, one of the keys to getting to the next phase of this journey because we don't know. And we need to get comfortable with not having all the answers. Again, the key here is to live the questions rather than rushing to answer them. It's about being open to whatever unfolds and not feeling that need to pin it down right away. And I know it's hard if you, again, are a super overachieving, overperforming woman in midlife. This might be difficult, but this is your opportunity to give yourself permission to explore. So the next piece of this is to journal for daily clarity. I know some of y'all don't like to journal. I love journaling. Oh my gosh. I have so many journals. I can't wait to talk about journaling in a separate video. Oh my gosh. I have journals from 20 years ago, y'all. So I can look back at my 28-year-old self to see what I was thinking. Baby, it's not pretty. But I made it. I'm here. If you don't like to journal, maybe it's just too invasive for you at this point. Maybe you just answer some of these prompts, right? Every day. What parts of my life feel like they need more exploration, right? From that edit. What are some things that you liked and you kept, but like, I want to dive deeper here? What is that? What am I curious about, but afraid to try? What is it? Who am I becoming in this season of life? And those questions can really stump you, but I encourage you to continue to write it out and to question it. Because your journal records your journey and it becomes your partner in exploration of you exploring yourself deeper than you might have in the past. Because we're so busy, we have so much going on, we don't often really sit with our thoughts and feelings and really get to explore those things and be introspective in the way that will help us grow and change. So I really encourage you to do at least a 5-minute daily journaling activity. And I want you to use paper and a pen or pencil. Please. I get it. Some people prefer to use their phone, but that doesn't really connect what's in your head, what's in your heart, and you putting that and using your actual physical body to write that out. It's just not the same connection. I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm not a scientist. I'm pretty sure there's some scientific information that will tell us the case that is or is not the case, but write it. Write. Period. And here's the fun thing I want you to do. This is the real big thing is I want you to try something new every month. I love trying something new all the time. I like trying new restaurants. I like to try new walking paths. I like to just, do different things, and it doesn't have to be some big, grand, humongous thing that you do. But once a month, I want you to try a new thing, right? So if it is your career, right? So we can't try a new job every month. Or maybe you can. I don't know. But if you've been kind of stuck in your career feeling bored or just kind of over it, maybe you go and like volunteer to do something, in a space like I've never thought about that. Maybe you've always been in a corporate world and want to see what nonprofit is like. You don't have to go get a nonprofit job to figure that out. Go volunteer. Go work with them, or provide your expertise or services. Maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just, to have better time management. Maybe you've heard that the Pomodoro technique works really well. You've never tried it. So for this month, I'm going to try the Pomodoro technique and see if that helps me focus. Easy peasy. You don't need a lot, right? If it is, again, for me, for play is a big one. So one of the things I haven't done in years, one of the things I used to love to do is go skating. I have not been skating in years. So that is going to be on my list. Lord, don't let me fall and break my wrist. Because, you watch these new, videos and people skating and they dancing. I'm not doing all that. I'm just trying to get around a circle, baby. I'm trying to skate in a circle, get back to where I started. But roller skating, I have a friend that started roller skating and she started bowling. And these are things she hadn't done. But she's bought her own bowling balls and her own skates. And she's, what, 53, 54, and just doing her own thing now that she hadn't done. You know, she spent her whole life working and raising kids and grandkids. And now, like, she's focusing on herself, right? And doing playful things. So explore. Maybe you want to start wearing a new perfume. You want to try wearing more color and stop wearing so much black and brown. Maybe you want to cut your hair. Okay, I don't know if you want to do this. This is fun though, but you might want to try something different. But whatever it is, think about something that excites you, that you've always been curious about, and try it once a month and see. Another thing that I want you to do is to surround yourself with other explorers or people that will encourage your exploring. What I find is that when you do something new or when you change or you do something different, it can be a bit jarring to people in our lives who aren't used to us doing those things. If your kids aren't used to you, maybe going on a solo date with yourself, like, Mom, where you going? Like, I'm just going to take myself out to eat. Like, it may be strange to them, but, tell them why you're doing it. Hopefully they're encouraging, but hopefully you are surrounded with some friends and people who can be encouraging to you, who can be supportive to you. And maybe they're on their own journey, right? And they're trying it themselves. So it's very important because once you begin to explore, you may decide, which is our next video, is that you want to implement these changes in your life, right? And implementation is different from just exploring. When you've decided, you know what, I like this, I want this to be a part of the next version of myself, I'm going to implement that. And so it's different. And so you need to have a group of supportive people, a group of explorers who will help you through that journey. So you might want to hire a coach. You might want to, and I'm a coach, by the way. Or you may just want to get in a support group around other folks who are doing some of the things that you're doing. In order to make this tangible, though, you want to set some specific goals, right? Instead of saying, I want to take a dance class. Say I want to go to a dance class once a week next month, right? And then create a timeline. You want to break that down into smaller goals, then find those resources. And if you can, get an accountability partner. Or maybe you have a friend that can help you be accountable. Here's the last thing I want to say. You might find in this exploration period, in this experimentation phase, that you don't like the thing or you don't want to do it. That's the point of this. That is the point. It's okay to try at something and not like it and or fail. And that can be hard for us women who have been overachievers, high achievers in our lives, and people have always applauded us for not failing and being successful. When at the end of the day, that can also be a detriment for when things don't work out. Because often I've learned that a lot of women don't have the tools to deal with it when they aren't achieving or when they get laid off or when the relationship ends or when this thing doesn't work out. They don't have the tools because they've always been told that in order to be worthy or to be a person of value, they must be successful. And that's not true. Take the pressure off yourself. If the thing that you tried or explore doesn't work out, it doesn't say anything bad about you. It just says that this wasn't for me, or this wasn't my time, or this wasn't my thing. It's really okay. Learn to trust yourself for yourself, that you know enough, that you're smart enough, and you give yourself the opportunity to just try. That's all. Just give yourself permission, give yourself the opportunity to try and fail or be successful. Either one doesn't matter. This is a decision that you get to make as you explore the next and best version of you. Living the Question is a beautiful journey in midlife. It is about allowing ourselves to explore without judgment, without pressure, and just with an open heart. Remember, there is no timeline for discovering the answers. It's about the process of getting curious and staying open to what life has in store for you. Thanks for checking me out today. Please, if you will, like, subscribe, and share this channel. And also comment on what you plan on exploring this month. I love to know. Right. See you next time. Bye.